Hey everyone, it's Patty from Deep Space Sparkle, and today we're going to be making a Christmas flamingo. If you live in a southern or a tropical climate like I do, no doubt that you're looking for an art project to celebrate the holidays that have a little bit more of a warm weather twist. So that's what we're going to be creating today. Kids are going to be learning how to draw a really simple flamingo. We're going to cut it out from pink paper and we're going to create a really beautiful ocean, tropical ocean backdrop. You'll be able to find that drawing handout inside the November freebie pack. If you haven't received this yet, go ahead and click the link below in the description to grab yours today. The supplies for this project are pretty simple. 2 colors of paper, one for the background, one for the flamingo, and a selection of pretty basic colors of tempera paint. I have brown for the sand, white for the clouds, and blue and green for the ocean. Before we get started with the project, hey, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I have new videos every Tuesday, and guess what? Now every Thursday. So you can click the subscribe button below, and there's a little bell inside that subscribe button where if you click that, you'll get notified every Tuesday and Thursday when a new video pops up. Okay, let's get started. We're going to create the background first because this is a painted paper background and we want time for this to dry. Start with a flat brush, and I like to start with the white first. Near the top of the paper, just dab on some white, thick white tempera paint. Don't add any water to this. And then kids can create their own fluffy clouds. Make as many as you want, and some can even go off the edge of the paper. Don't be afraid of those edges. Okay, while there's white still on my paintbrush, I'm going to dip it into some blue paint, and I'm going to draw a horizon line. This is where the sky meets the ocean. So everything below this line is going to be ocean. The reason why we're using a background paper is because it's so much easier for small children to paint the ocean going back and forth with really big arm movements instead of painting a background behind or beside a drawing. It's just a really easy way for children to understand the concept of a horizon line and to get a really beautiful ocean color application on their paper. So keep on going. I haven't even cleaned my brush, so resist the urge to encourage kids to clean their brush. This is really pretty when they just start mixing the color. And make sure you go right off the edge of the paper. Okay, now I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to clean my brush straight on my paper placemat. And I haven't even cleaned my brush in the water yet. Now I'm going to take some brown paint and I'm going to brush that on the bottom third of my paper and go all the way across. Nice big arm movements. The bigger the brush, the easier it is to get a big application of color on your paper. Now, because this is a tropical beach, I want a little splash of waves. So I'm going to clean my brush off. Now, if you want to, this is when you could clean the brown off your water or your brush. I like to dab my brush at the bottom of the container and gently just drip or drag the bristles across the edge. Then I'm going to, again, dab it on my paper towel so it's a nice dry brush. Dip it in the white and just add some splashes of waves. Okay, now you're all done of the background. To draw the flamingo, it really helps to have this drawing guide handy, even if it's for your benefit to teach the students, but you can also hand this to the students themselves. To draw the flamingo, just draw an oval near one side of the paper, and I'm going to do it right here. For little kids, that oval should be almost bigger than their fist. And then at the very bottom of the paper, draw an upside down letter U. Make this as big as your flamingo's body. Then you want to connect the head, the oval, to the upside down letter U by placing your oil pastel on this side of the paper or this side of the head and making a squiggle line all the way down to the letter U. Do the very same thing on this side. Start towards the bottom and go out, and if you can, make it go towards the front of the body. So now you have this really cool flamingo shape. Now, what you're going to do is take this flamingo shape and cut it out. Now turn over your flamingo and we're going to start adding all the details. You're going to grab your black oil pastel and you're going to make an eye towards the middle of the head. Now I know this doesn't look like a flamingo yet, but it will. We're going to draw a wing right here, and it's an upside down letter U that's a little bit more curvy. Now, I know what you're thinking. It doesn't really look like a flamingo, and that's because it does not have its beak. So what we're going to do is take a white piece of paper, and you want to put your flamingo head over the paper, and then just make a little dot with your oil pastel here and here. And that's just to show how wide the head is. Then join these two dots with a backwards letter C, and then we want to make a nice pointed beak. Then divide it in half and color the tip of the beak with your black oil pastel. We're going to glue this to our flamingo in just a moment, but for now, let's decorate our flamingo with a Santa's hat. So take a piece of red paper, and I'm using a red crayon just so I don't see the markings too much. Put your flamingo's head over the paper just a little bit to see how wide the head is, so you can see from here to here. Then just draw the pointed Santa's hat. At this point, you want to glue the flamingo to your background, so let's bring back our background. I'm going to turn my flamingo over to the side that I drew on. I'm going to take some white school glue and I'm going to squeeze the glue all over the flamingo. Now that we have our flamingo glued to our background, the background might be a little bit wet, but you can just press the flamingo down with the tips of your hands. Now, I'm using a coffee filter as the tissue paper to make the fur along the bottom of the hat and also the pom-pom. So take the tissue paper or a coffee filter and just start crinkling this up. I'm going to put a bunch of glue here. And this is great fun for kids. They can crumple up a large piece of the coffee filter or a small piece and keep on going until they have as much of the hat covered as they want. I thought I would use some different colored tissue paper for the top of the hat. So I'm going to take some pink. You, of course, could use more white, but I thought because my clouds were white, it might be fun to use a different color. Okay, there is my Santa's hat on my flamingo. Now, here are a couple of extra options. You can leave it like this, or you can add some more detail with some crayons, some feathers, or even use some tissue paper, fold it in half, and cut out some pretty little feathers for your flamingo. Sometimes when you fold the tissue paper in half, it's a lot easier to cut. I just have a couple of shapes here. You want to make a little line. I'm going to make the line at the bottom, put my feathers on top, and then start layering. Okay, here's my fancy flamingo. Now, it wouldn't be a deep space sparkle lesson unless we added a little bit of sparkle. So take a glue and some sequins, and you can apply buttons, sequins, you can apply yarn, colored pieces of paper, anything that you want to decorate the hat. As you can see, there are plenty of ways to customize your own tropical flamingo, and I can't wait to see them all. Make sure you join our Deep Space Sparkle Dazzler group, or you can post your students' gallery. I'll see you there.